Day everyone, I hope that you are safe and ready to learn. Welcome to this video lesson. Today we'll be discussing about quadratic
So
equation.
what is a quadratic equation? Okay, a quadratic equation is a second-degree polynomial equation that can be expressed or written in the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a, b, and c are elements of real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. Okay, so when we talk about quadratic equation, it is a second-degree polynomial, meaning the highest exponent of the variable involved is 2. And the standard form quadratic equation, it should be ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So that's the standard form. So all quadratic equation can be written in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And your a should not be equal to 0. Why? Because if a is equal to 0, and if you multiply to whatever value of x squared, the product is 0, and this term will be eliminated. And once it is eliminated, the remaining term is bx plus c equals 0, wherein the highest exponent is 1, and that is not a quadratic equation anymore, and that is a linear equation. Okay,
In standard form quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0.
your ax squared is called as quadratic equation, a quadratic term, and your bx is the linear term, and your a alone without x squared is called quadratic coefficient, and b is a linear coefficient, and the c is the constant. Okay, let us have an example. So 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0 is a quadratic equation written in standard form. So if it is written in standard form, then we can identify now the value of a. The value of a is positive 2. The value of b is positive 5. And the value of c is negative 3.
Okay, let us have 3x times the quantity of x minus 2 equals positive 10.
So is this a quadratic equation? Okay, that is a quadratic equation. However, it is not written in standard form. To write that in standard form, we have to expand the product of 3x and x minus 2. Meaning we multiply 3x to x, and that is 3x squared, and 3x times negative 2, that's negative 6x, equals 10. Okay, yeah, there. Then we have to transpose positive 10 to the left side. So it will become now negative 10. So you have now 3x squared minus 6x minus 10 equals 0. So that's the standard form of the given quadratic equation. So from that, we can now identify the value of a, which is positive 3, the value of b, which is negative 6, and the value of c, which is negative 10. Okay, so how about quantity 2x plus 5 times quantity x minus 1 equals negative 6? Is this a quadratic equation? Okay, so that is again a quadratic equation but not written in standard form. So to write that in standard form, we have to expand the product of 2x plus 5 and x minus 1. So let's do it now. Multiply 2x times x, so you have 2x squared. Then multiply 2x to negative 1, negative 2x. Then multiply 5 to x, so you have positive 5x. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5 equals negative 6. Then we'll combine negative 2x and 5x because they are similar term. Then we transpose negative 6 to the right side. left side rather. So you have 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 plus 6. And we combine again negative 5 and 6. So the final is 2x squared plus 3x plus 1 equals 0. So that's the standard form. You have to identify the value of A. A is 2, B is positive 3, and C is negative, I would say positive 1. Okay. Okay, activity number 1, identify which of the following are quadratic equation and which are not. If it is not a quadratic equation, then you have to explain. Okay, the given, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So there are 8 given. So we have to identify if the given is quadratic equation or not. Okay, 1. 3m plus 8 equals 15. Okay, so number 1 is not a quadratic equation. Why? Because the exponent of the variable involved in the given equation is 1. Even though there is no indicated exponent na makikita doon sa m, it is understood that the exponent is 1. So again, this is not a quadratic equation. This is a linear equation. Okay, let's proceed to number 2. Number 2 is x squared minus 5x plus 10 equals 0. So is this a quadratic equation or not? Okay, a quadratic equation because the highest exponent is 2. And actually, it is written in standard form. X squared minus 5x plus 10 equals 0. How about number 3? X squared minus 2x plus 7. Is this a quadratic equation or not? So this is not a quadratic equation. Simply because there is no equal sign to indicate that this is an equation. So even though the highest exponent is 2, but still not a quadratic equation. This is just a quadratic expression because it has no equal sign to indicate that this is an equation. Okay, how about number 4? 3t squared minus 7t equals 12. Is this a quadratic equation? Okay, so this is a quadratic equation. However, it is not written in standard form. But if we write that in standard form, we can write in this way. So if we want 3t squared comes first, followed by 7t. Then the 12, this 12 will be transposed to the opposite side of the equation. Then the sign will become negative 12 equals 0. So that is now the standard form. So if we are required to write it in standard form, so that's the standard form. How about number 5? 6 minus 2x plus 3x squared equals 0. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation. Again, number 5 equation is a quadratic equation but not written in standard form. But if you want to write it in standard form, you simply arrange the term. So the 3x squared will come first. So 3x squared followed by negative 2x followed by positive 6 equals 0 if you write that in standard form. How about number 6? 25 minus r squared equals 4r. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation. So quadratic equation, and if you write that in standard form, you can write that as negative r squared. Then you transpose 4r to the other side, it will become negative 4r. Then you write plus 25 equals 0. So that is the standard form that given quadratic equation. How about number 7? Square root of h minus 6 equals 0. Okay, that's not a quadratic equation because The variable h is under the radical sign, and it shows that the exponent of h is not 2. So actually, this equation is what we call the radical equation, or the square root equation in particular. Okay, so how about number 8? Square of x plus 2 equals 0. So that's a quadratic equation. So if you want to write that in standard form, you simply square x plus 2. When you see square x plus 2, ang ibig sabihin nun ay x plus 2 times x plus 2 equals 0. Then, you multiply that 2 binomial. So, the result would be x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. So, that's the standard form of quadratic equation for number 8. Okay, so let's proceed to activity number 2. In activity number 2, you have to write each equation in standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Then identify the values of a, b, and c. So the given are number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So, example number 1. 3x minus 2x squared equals 7. How to write that in standard form? So you simply arrange the term. So your negative 2x squared, this quadratic term, where the quadratic term will come first, followed by the linear term, followed by the constant equals the 0. So yung nasa opposite side, at the right side of the equality must be 0. So become now negative 2x squared plus 3x minus 7 equals 0. So that's now the standard form. What is the value of A? Negative 2. The value of B, positive 3. The value of C is negative 7. How about 2x, number 2? 2x times quantity x minus 3 equals 15. To write that in standard form, we have to expand the product of 2x and x minus 3. You multiply 2x times x, so that is 2x squared, and 2x times negative 3. So you have now, and you transpose 15 to the left side, and the result is 2x squared minus 6x minus 15 equals 0. So what is A? Positive 2, B is negative 6, and C is negative 15. Okay, let us proceed to number 3. Number 3, quantity x plus 3 times quantity x plus 4 equals 0. So you have to expand the product, x times x, then x times 4, multiply to 3 times x, then 3 times 4. And the result is x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. And what's the value of A? 1. B, 7, and C equals 12. How about number 4? Square of x plus 2 equals 3 times the quantity of x plus 2. The square of x plus 2, meaning you multiply x plus 2 by itself, then you distribute 3 to the quantity of x plus 2. So the result is x squared plus 4x plus 4. That is the product of x plus 2 times x plus 2 equals to the product of 3 times x plus 2. So you have 3x plus 6. Then you simplify. So it will become now x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. So what is the value of A? 1. The value of B? 1. And the value of C? negative 2. Okay? You have to remember the definition of quadratic equation. A quadratic equation is a second-degree polynomial equation that can be expressed or written in the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a, b, and c are elements of real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. So the standard form of quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where ax squared is called quadratic term, bx is the linear term, then a is the quadratic coefficient, b is the linear coefficient, and c is the constant. You have to remember also that before you identify the value of a, b, and c, you need to write the given quadratic equation in standard form. Okay, so that's all for today. Until next time.